Our leaders are evil, do want Donald Trump dead. They've been very clear about that. A lot of people jumped on Twitter right after and talked about how they wish that, nobody had missed. People like the video game streamer Destiny were talking about how the guy should have been a better shot. This guy is. I've been asked to debate this guy several times, and I've said no each time because I know exactly who he is. It's a waste of my time. The guy is a complete scumbag. He's a complete liar. He's just a degenerate freak. And the fact that he would come out and not only was he saying he wished that Trump had died, he was insulting the heroic guy who got killed during this whole thing. Trump wasn't the only one hit. This guy, Corey Comparator, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but he's a guy who just celebrated his 50th birthday. He was a volunteer fire chief in Pennsylvania. And his daughter posted on her Facebook page that, this guy was a loving father. He's a devoted Christian. Everybody loved him. You can still see him posting about how excited he was on Twitter to go to this Trump rally. And in this moment where this guy opens fire, the volunteer firefighter instinctively, this first responder just instinctively shoves his wife and his daughter to the ground, covers them with his own body, and ends up taking a bullet that was very likely going to hit them. And he died tragically. I mean, heroically. It's horrible, but, at the same time, this guy covered himself in glory. He gave the ultimate price in a split second. He didn't hesitate. He threw himself right between that bullet and his family. And, try not to get broken up about that kind of thing, but it's hard not to. When you see that incredible bravery, that instinctual bravery is, God bless the man. But the fact that a guy like Destiny is on Twitter insulting this guy is just, but that there's so many on the left who are like this. That there are multiple Democratic operatives who did cracks about the people, people dying at the rally, getting hurt at the rally. If only Trump had been hit. Tenacious D is on stage talking about don't miss Trump next time. This is a very common sentiment. To be clear, the left is going to groom another one of these guys. They're not dialing their rhetoric down at all. MSNBC, CNN, they immediately jumped right back into this. Idiot celebrities like George Takei. They just immediately started calling Trump the bad guy. He was asking for it. If he hadn't just worn that short dress, then none of this would have happened, right? They said how Trump was the real danger. His supporters were the real danger. They're the ones that caused this violent rhetoric. We're already seeing this. So to be very clear, if you think that the left is taking this off ramp, you've lost your mind. They are not. They are putting their foot to the floor. They immediately pivoted right back to blaming Trump. The Atlantic immediately runs a piece in the shadow of Trump being shot, saying, "Oh, Trump is a dictator. He asked for it." That's what you're saying. That's David Frum, I believe, is the one who wrote that piece. So the left did not hesitate. They're going right back to the very rhetoric that created this scenario. They're not letting things cool off. In a sane country, in a country that was not absolutely trying to destroy itself, a presidential candidate, a former president, getting shot and immediately standing up in a heroic pose and rallying his supporters, that would be seen as a moment to unify the country, to solidify the country. That's how this would be understood. Anybody who is trying to push the hostility would immediately understand that this is a moment for people to unify. But nope, the left wanted more. They immediately dove right back into this. It's a horrible thing to behold. Now, the left knows they're screwed when it comes to the election. We had multiple Democratic campaign analysts and strategists basically on background or talking to reporters, other people overheard just saying this is over, the election's over, this is done, right? Like you have the contrast between a guy like Joe Biden, who can barely speak, who can barely stand on stage, and then you have somebody like Donald Trump, who literally can take a bullet, and his instinct is to not run, not hide, not cry, not crap his pants, which is something that Joe Biden seems to do when he's just standing around, but instead immediately pop up, chant, fight, has to be dragged off stage as blood streams down his face as he stands in front of an American flag by Secret Service agents. That contrast could not be more stark. The election is over.